Today in Grow a Garden in Roblox, we're going to do something I have never done before. We are ranking every single pet based off of how good or bad their abilities are. Who cares about trade value? Who cares about rarity? Is it a useful pet or is it a garbage pet? We're going to talk about it in this video, and it's going to take a while. So sit back, relax, grab a snack, and strap in. If this sounds interesting to you, go ahead and hit that red subscribe button. Become part of the first 300 KOGs on the channel. And let's get into the video. I actually even have the Grow a Garden wiki out on my phone so I can review the pet abilities because I don't know the ability of every single pet off the top of my head. Starting with the rooster, who actually has a bad ability. Its ability is to increase the hatch speed of eggs by 20%, and that is all. There are strictly better pets than it at its own job. The blood kiwi does what it does, plus has a hatch activated ability. So it's just not that good of an ability. Blood kiwi clears it, and the bald eagle clears it again. This is the spotted deer, who has a chance to have berry type fruits remain behind after you harvest them. It's okay. I wouldn't call it a bad ability. You know what? I'm going to modify these tiers a little bit. There, yellow is mid, perfectly mid, nothing wrong with it, just fine. And then the bottom one is useless, like you're never going to use them. This guy falls perfectly into the mid tier. I mean, sure, maybe you might have an instance like for an event or for a reason to farm up English is hard berries, but for the most part, it's mid. Now, this picture looks like the honeybee based off of what I can see here. And applying pollinated is nice and useful, and maybe you want to have pollinated fruits in your garden so you can use those fruits to acquire more bee eggs from the bee vendor. So it has some ability, but for the most part, it's kind of mid. Pollinated is pretty easy to apply. There's lots of other pets in the game that can apply pollinated. So all in all, it's fine. It's useful. If you want pollinated, get some of these. And the wasp is pretty much just a worse version of the bee for the most part. I had to look up what the cow does. Causes all plants within 8 studs to grow a tiny little bit faster. No. We don't want cows. They're useless. There are so many pets in this game that are just so much better at growing plants instantly or quickly. You've got the echo frog, you've got the triceratops. You don't ever need to use a cow unless you like how it looks. But in terms of its ability, we're talking abilities, it's useless. The polar bear, one of my favorites because I love polar bears in general, has pretty much a mid ability. You have the chill spray now, so you don't really need the bear's effect. It's fine. It's useful if you don't have any weather effects, but we're going into winter, so we're going to have the chilling weather effect all the time. It's mid borderline useless. So you know what? You're going further down the tier list. Sorry, polar bear. Poor thing. I think the next one is a sea otter, though the color is off. This thing's pretty much useless. If I recall correctly, all it does is offer the wet mutation. Yeah, it sprays water on a nearby plant. It's useless. We don't need the sea otter in the game. You know what we do need? You remember the one admin mutation event Saturday morning when we were given a watering hose and we can actually walk around in our garden with a hose and wet things? Give us that, Jandal. We don't need the sea otter. This guy is the silver otter who has an 8% chance to refund crops, and that's kind of useful. I'm going to call it mid-ish for the most part. I don't really see a reason why you'd want to use it. I see how Jandal made it an achievement, so you can use it for that purpose. But aside from that, I don't know. It's okay. Another wasp, perfectly fine. Mid, don't need it. Don't worry about wasps. The turtle apparently makes all sprinklers last approximately 20% longer. Why would you ever want to do that? The only time you're using a sprinkler is because you're trying to make a massive plant. As such, you'd rather have mooncats out or orange tabbies or blood hedgehogs or some other pet that helps you with the goal of growing the plant. The length of a sprinkler is never the defining factor. I think turtles are basically useless in this game. So this is a bee that also gives you a chance of having a flower stay back after harvesting. It can find some minor use if you're doing a whole bunch of flower harvesting like the current event, but people usually have enough flowers and the flowers usually grow back so fast that this isn't that useful, so I'm putting it into the mid-tier ability. Now the moth. You know what? I think the moth has a good ability. For those of you who just don't feel like micromanaging your pets and making sure they have food all the time, the moth is useful. All you have to do is feed the moth, and the moth feeds the rest of your team. It has some effect. It does have some value and some use in that regard. Next, we have these two mice, and the one mouse does run speed, and the other mouse does jump height. And both of them are situationally useful. I'll put them at the top of mid tier, not quite into the good tier. Because, I mean, running around fast is fun and jumping higher is fun. But I've never really needed the abilities, even for obbies in the game. I could climb the beanstalk, no problem without them. I could run obbies, no problem without them. So I don't really see a need for them in this point in the game. The caterpillar is useless. It grows leafy plants faster. Just use some of the other pets I've mentioned earlier in this video. You don't need caterpillars, guys. You can go ahead and sell them. Now, the giant ant is useful with candy crops. I'm a little bit interested in this because the new maple resin is a candy crop. Obviously, his ability doesn't do so well as the things become rare, but you might be able to harvest multiple candy crops. It might be worthwhile to have these if you ever do decide to pick your resins. You know what? I'm going to put this in the good ability. And because of the new resin being candy, it's situationally useful. And the red one does it for fruit types. I don't know if there's any really expensive, useful fruit ones. So I'm going to put this in the mid. I think it's significantly worse than the other one because of the brand new one we got. Praying mantis, useless. This thing has been useless for a long, long time. It's going to remain useless. It just doesn't have a useful effect. And its radius is so small. They buffed it recently, and it's still practically useless. The red fox has been, you know what? I'll be fair. They buffed the red fox's ability. I will put it in the mid tier. It's okay. It can only really get you seed shop seeds, and we have access to tons of seed shop seeds on the weekends during admin abuse. As such, it's mid, it's fine. Yeah, same with the snail. You're getting seeds back when you're doing things, and I'm pretty sure it only works on seed drop seeds, seed shop seeds. I don't find it to be very useful. I'm going to put this more in the useless category. If you're after seeds, go ahead and go for it, but it's really not worth holding on to. This guy, the squirrel, has one of the most best abilities in the game. Oh, and by the way, I didn't write most best ability. That's what was in the list in advance. I left it. Makes sense. Most best. Squirrels are good boys. Guys, every single event, we get a new event every 2 weeks. And during that time, there's a good chance you need to adjust your garden. And you have 2 gardens in this game, potentially 3 gardens in this game. One of those gardens is going to be your beautiful decoration garden, but those other gardens are going to be meant for farming events. And when you want to rejig your farming event garden, having infinite reclaimers is super useful. But Crow, you're going to say, we have so many reclaimers from events. I'm sitting at 100. I'm sitting at 150. Yeah, but when you're like me and you're planting 300 or 400 different plants in an event, and then you want to clear your garden for the next event, having infinite reclaimers is beautiful. Squirrels rock. If you're part of Squirrel Gang, comment down below and let me know you're part of Squirrel Gang. Although Bear Bee is no longer... Poor Bear Bee. I like bears. You notice I have like a thing for bears, grizzly bears and polar bears and Bear Bee. Bear Bee's cute. Bear Bee's awesome. Bear Bee offers honey glaze. Everyone has honey glazed sprays. So many of them. I have so many of them. It doesn't have a useful ability. Sorry, Mr. Honeybee. One of the most best abilities in the game, if not one of the best abilities in the game, is the butterfly. Rainbow is clutch. Clutch. You cannot grow the most expensive fruits in the game without Rainbow. So if anybody is complaining, even this far into the game's existence, complaining about the fact that the butterfly eats 5 mutations to put Rainbow, they don't quite understand how the math works. Rainbow is an X50, but it's different than the other X50s. All the other X50s go over here on the equation and are added together and then multiplied by the Rainbow X50. That's why Rainbow is so powerful. It's way more powerful than a regular X50. It's worth multiple X100s in terms of calculation. It's super clutch. One of the best abilities, bar none. Pack B mid. I'm going to call it mid. I'm going to call it situationally useful. You could always use them in an event like the event we're in right now. Let's say you're on the berry part of the event and you can hold 199 berries because you haven't done your plant achievements yet. You hold 199 blueberries and you go in and you hand in your 199 blueberries and it's not enough. You need to get more. Ugh, that's annoying. Have some pack bees on the field. You can carry more stuff, maybe one shot instead of doing 2 trips. So it's situationally useful, but it's pretty much mid. Dragonfly, I'm going to call it a really good ability. It's a really good ability because it's on such a short cooldown, being less than 5 minutes. That means you don't have to stay online very long to trigger its effect. Gold is good, not as good as Rainbow, but still good. I think Dragonflies still have really useful abilities, especially for the casual gamer Who just wants to have lots of different gold fruits in his garden filled with gold fruits? So therefore the dragonfly has a lot of use there. The queen bee, I'm going to call it, has a good ability. You can get your pollinated, right? Because taken care of. And then it can shorten other cooldowns. For example, it shortens the butterfly cooldown. That's really, really good. Maybe you can have something else do a medium cooldown like 10 minutes or 15 minutes. And then she triggers it again and resets it again. Very useful pet. Very useful ability. The regular hedgehog, I'm going to give it a useless ability only because we have blood hedgehogs. And blood hedgehogs are just a strict upgrade on the regular hedgehog. And the blood hedgehog has a good ability. We'll skip ahead and jump that one. So the ability to grow prickly plants much, much larger, especially if you have multiples of them, especially with pancake stacks and such. The blood hedgehog and the regular hedgehog have useful abilities. It's just the blood hedgehog is just so much better. It's just easily better. And we're going to do the same thing with the kiwi. The kiwi is useless because the blood kiwi has a good ability. I'm going to put it down. I'm going to put it down in the mid because I still think the bald eagle is better. You know what? No, it's good. It's good. It's good. Blood kiwis are really, really good. 20% increase in hatch speed, plus every 45 seconds, it decreases the cooldown by 45 seconds. That pretty much doubles it. And multiple blood kiwis can work together to decrease one egg all the way down a ton. They're really good. Solid pet. Great pet to have. Panda. Useless. Super useless. Probably one of the most single useless abilities in the entire game. It's so bad. So the frog and the echo frog have the exact same ability, just that the echo frog triggers like twice as fast. So I will say I'm going to put the regular frog down in useless. There's no point in having one when you have the echo frog. The echo frog is a really, really good ability. Being able to do the plants instantly is fantastic. And what I didn't know was that when you do it to the plant, you also do it to the fruit. So the fruit also instantly grows as well. This has a lot of good uses when trying to grow huge fruits. Because you know how most fruits have an innate built-in huge chance. Bone blossoms a 2.5% chance. So with echo frogs, you can trigger it over and over and over. 4 bone blossoms, 4 bone blossoms, 4 bone blossoms, trying to wait until one of those gets the 2.5% chance to be huge. With sprinklers down and other things. So echo frogs and regular frogs are useful. Echo frog is just so much better. This guy can sometimes dig you up kind of ridiculous things. So I want to put the ability in the mid tier because sometimes you get really cool gear and it's kind of nice. So he's not horrible. Mooncats, really good. Really, really good. The 1.5% chance or 1.5 times increase is really, really good. It's situationally useful. It's actually generally useful, but not as situationally useful as other ones. For example, the mooncat can help you grow prickly plants quite well, but the hedgehog can grow prickly plants really well. So there are specific pets that are better at specific things, but the mooncat's more of a general, just kind of useful and good. Chicken zombie is mid. It does hatch things faster, but not as fast as a blood kiwi or even a regular, what was that? Rooster. It's not even good as a rooster, but also offers a mutation. That's pretty cool too. It's got a mid ability. It's fine. Firefly, it's not in the game files. So we're going to drag the firefly down. The owl is a worse version of the night owl, who I'll put in mid tier, who's a worse version of the blood owl, who I'll put into the good abilities here. Blood owls are solid, night owls are decent, regular owls are not that good. And that's how that scales. This was the regular bee. This is the honeybee. The honeybee is just a better regular bee. The regular bee can go down to useless. Why would you want a regular bee when you use a honeybee? Why would you use a honeybee when you use a queen bee? It all makes sense there. The cooked owl is still cooked because it's a worse owl and its mutation is horrible. Cooked owls are cooked. Cooked owls are cooked in real life value. Cooked owls are cooked in useful ability lists. They're just cooked. Oh, look who it is. Our best friend, the raccoon, who has the single most important ability in the game, the single most game-breaking ability in the game. It has ruined the grow a garden economy. No pet in this game has had a big as an influence, as a thing, as anything, as the raccoon. I'm almost speechless talking about it because it is such a frustrating but powerful pet. If you're a casual player and you're just using it to steal random fruits from random people's gardens and public servers, you're not utilizing it to the best of its abilities. If you are, you know how game-breaking this thing is. The dragon does not exist in the games, coming down into the bottom of this. Capybaras, really good. Like, their abilities are really, really good. Really, really solid. The only reason I'm not putting it higher on this list is because there are better things than it at its job of leveling up pets. But it's really useful, especially with pancake stacks. Now, would you rather have a team of 7 capybara and the one thing you're leveling up? Or would you rather have a team of 7 blood owls and the one thing you're leveling up? Depends on how many pancake stacks you have. If you have a ton of pancake stacks, we're talking like 10 plus. Capybaras and the pet they're leveling stay really close to the center of the map. They work great. If you don't, I would probably go an army of blood owls over an army of capybara, assuming equal weight, equal ability, and non-titanic and all that jazz. Crab? Useless? Funny, hilarious. Like watching it run around and go pinch people? Funny, but useless pet. Flamingo is not useful because things like the echo frog exist. It's down in the useless category. Oh, the mimic octopus, really good. Really, really, really good ability. The only reason it's not a most best ability is because the mimic octopus sometimes is copying things with a cooldown that's less than its own, right? If mimic has a 18, 19, 20 minute long cooldown and the thing you're copying, like a raccoon, for example, has a 15-minute cooldown, you're better off served simply using the raccoon instead of the mimic. And that's the only thing holding it back. After that, aside from that, jack of all trades, master of none, just a useful pet to have in your back pocket. Great pet. Orangutans, some people swear by these, some people don't. What it does, it gives you back percentage chance, gives you back the crafting ingredients you use for crafting. But for me personally, there's rarely been a situation where I want to get back the thing that I'm crafting. So I'm not super impressed by the orangutan overall. I'm going to give it a mid ability. Some people swear by it when crafting anti-bee eggs because then they get back regular bee eggs, but ultimately it's just okay. The ostrich, I'm not going to put it into useless. It used to be amazing ability, especially when the mutation machine first dropped. But now that everyone's getting the mutations no problem and we're no longer just farming Ascended for the sake of farming Ascended, it's mid. It's fine. It can help you get things mutated faster, but that's not really what people are trying to do when hatching eggs. Peacock. Listen to me carefully. The regular, everyday, normal-sized peacock, it's not very useful. Nobody uses it for its ability. A Titanic 15-second peacock, it's up here. But we're not talking about Titanics and huges here. We're just talking about your average usual pet. And as such, the peacock really doesn't have much use outside of looking kind of cool. Scarlet macaw applying verdant used to be really important, but now we have the verdant spray in the spray shop, so it's not as important. It's still somewhat useful. If you need to spread verdant, especially if you're trying to get verdant and sun-dried into paradisal, it's useful. You need it. Seagulls give you back your seeds. Not that useful. Just not that useful. Seals? Amazing. I would almost say Seal's abilities are game breaking. Like they're among some of the best abilities in the game. You want to have an army of seals, 8 seals on a pet slot so that you can slap them out when you're ready to sell off all your spare pets to give you back a bunch of eggs. I sell a dozen eggs and I get back 6, 7, 5, somewhere in there, eggs back. And seals are awesome. They're game breaking. You definitely want to somehow acquire 8 seals of sufficient weight so that you have a combined 50% chance of getting your eggs back. They're clutch. They're important. It's an amazing ability in this game until they nerf it again, hopefully. Sea turtles are not that great at leveling up pets. We're not talking about Titanic. We're talking about normal. Normal sea turtles just don't do the job about leveling up your pets. Starfish have a mid ability. I would have rated it higher, but everyone has age 75 pets now. And everyone has pretty much finished off unlocking all their slots. But if you have not finished unlocking your slots, do Starfish. They level up quick. And all of a sudden, boom, you have age 75 pets, age 60 pets, age 40 pets to finish off all your slots. Toucans have a mid ability. It can be useful if you're trying to do a tropical plant. But tropical plants have not been meta for some time. If they ever do become meta, if we receive, maybe next summer, a new tropical plant that has the best base value in the game, toucans will be in vogue and be in demand. Until then, they don't have much of an ability right now. This guy lets you duplicate seeds or gear when buying from the shop. I've never had a need for them. Maybe they have some hidden tech I'm not aware of, but I've never had a need for them. This pet, normal, useless. Titanic, whole different story, but normally pretty much useless. The Hyacinth macaw has a mid ability. It offers Cloud Touch, I believe, which is also a spray. So it has the same problem as the Scarlet Macaw. The Axolotl has a mid ability. It's okay, but it's not useless. Same thing with the hamster. Very mid ability. Just okay, not useless. Fennec Fox, I'll put it in the good ability category. I don't really care for it, but I will carefully put it in the bottom of good ability category. That's kind of how I feel about it right now. Raptors. Useless but fun ability. You get to run around faster. That's hilarious. Put 8 big raptors on the field and just zoom around the map. It's fun. It's funny. Doesn't have a use, but it's hilarious. Triceratops. Useful. You know what? I might even put the Echo Frog up top in the most best ability, or the Triceratops. I don't know which one is better at its job of instantly growing plants, or sorry, instantly growing fruits when you're trying to acquire the huge chance on fruits. You can either use Triceratops. It's really nice to stagger Triceratops and have them hit the thing over and over and over and over again. Useful. I think the Echo Frog is better. I don't know. Comment down below. What do you think? Also, if you've made it this far into the video, can you go down in the comments and talk about Watch Gang? I want to know who my Watch Gang members are. Who's made it this far into the video? If you're part of Watch Gang, let me know. Stegosaurus is mid to useless. It's okay. It's okay. Most of these getting things back when you do things, pets, are only situationally useful, so it really depends. I'm even going to actually say that the pterodactyl has a pretty much useless ability. We still have the windstruck mutation in the game. We still have tornadoes in the game. We have the natural weathers for this pet, so having a pet apply those weathers, yeah, it's just not that good. Oh, not to mention the mutation. We have a winning mutation in the mutation shop too. Yeah. Brontosauruses are a most best ability pet. Phenomenal. These allow you to hatch pets heavier than you're supposed to. For example, normally you hatch a pet, it hatches maximum 2.2 or so kilograms. I, with multiple Brontos on the field, capped out at 30% increase, have hatched 2.8 plus kilogram normal pets, which means those normal pets have even better effects than before, like seals, for example. So the Brontosaurus is infinitely useful when hatching pets. You definitely want to invest in an army of Brontosaurus so that you can hatch bigger pets. It's super useful. The T-Rex has a really good ability. Being able to spread mutations, very powerful, very useful, great in casual settings, great in hardcore settings, just a really good, solid, useful ability on the T-Rex. Bald eagles, I'm putting them up in the really good category. Where did I put him down? There he is. He is the best way to hatch eggs faster, especially now that we have more than 8 slots. I'm sitting on my maxed out slots. I have 13 slots on the field. The bald eagle is just strictly better, especially at that many slots, than any other way of hatching eggs in the game. Bald eagles are king. The Shiba Inu has a mid ability of digging up seeds. You can dig up any seed in the seed shop. That's kind of cool. And it's better than the golden lab. So sadly, the golden lab is useless. I love the golden lab. One of my first huge pets was the golden lab, but no, it's just useless now. The Nihon is actually genuinely useless. There is no pet in the game more useless than it. It has no effect. It does nothing. It is strictly cosmetic. The definition of useless. This guy, who does a little bit of everything, is also pretty much useless. It doesn't do anything better than any pet in the game. Now, the Tanjazuru had a moment when I would have categorized it as the most best ability. During the Zen event, it was so good at spreading mutations. It was so good at farming the event, especially overnight. You can AFK and come back to a full garden full of mutated crops. But now we don't have a need of randomly mutated crops. So it's not that good. I'll keep it in mid because a day may come when you have a turn-in for an event that doesn't care what the mutation is, but only cares that the crops are mutated. And if that happens, the Tanjazuru will rise from the ashes. For the time being, it is useless. Kappa, mid. If you want to spread water, you can use this to spread water, but spreading water is easy. Like the rainy weather is super common. Kappas aren't that useful. Koi, waboom. Most bestest abilities. When you are hatching eggs, you have on the field first enough Brontosauruses to make those eggs heavy, 30%, followed by the remainder of Koi to put eggs back on the field when you hatch them. Free eggs. You can never go wrong with free eggs. Super amazing ability. The red kitsune is just a worse raccoon. Like, the raccoon uses its ability every 15 minutes. The kitsune uses its ability every 20 minutes. You're going to say, but Crow, what about the chakra mutation? Great. You put it on your plant. Now you're done. And once you've done it once, you can just switch to raccoons. Raccoons are just better at the job. Every hour, the kitsune brings you back 3 fruits, and the raccoon brings you back 4 fruit. It's 25% better. Football! Useless! Why do we have a football? These guys, remember these guys? They are Situationally useful, they're going to be situationally useful in the same way that the 10-0 is. If an event occurs that cares about having mutated plants and doesn't care what the mutation is, these boys, these Kadamas are going to come in handy again. So keep them in your back pocket, you never know. The Janda Monkey, not a real pet. Doesn't exist in the game. Gonna slap it down here. Doesn't really exist. I mean, sure, if it does exist, you can put it right up to the top most best abilities. It gives you every mutation. That's amazing. I don't think it's real. Disco Bee, I'm gonna give it a good ability. I mean, getting disco is great. We have lots of disco in events and such. So I'm going to give it a good ability. It's okay. Raiju has a mid ability, static. I don't like it so much. Kurobe Kitsune has a mid ability as well. It provides a mutation, and then that's all it does. It's done after that. It has no other function. Do I even have like this bunny thing? No, that bunny thing is useless. This mole is just as useful as the other mole. They're just two of the same thing. They're both mid ability. I guess the sushi bear can have some use because it can feed pets kind of like a moth. A little bit like a moth. It's okay. Mochi Mouse used to be all the rage when age 75 pets had value. But now everyone's finished off all of their age 75 pet upgrades. And as such, this Mochi Mouse has some ability, but not that much. The Spaghetti Sloth applies mutations you can't find elsewhere, so I'll put it towards the top of mid-tier because it's the only way to get those mutations. And combined together, they're a times 25 mutation, which is spaghetti, so it's okay. French Fry Ferret, useful leveling pet. Not as useful as other things. It's, okay, when you're leveling pets, you want to use other methods when the pets are low level, but as pets get high level, you want to switch to the French Fry Ferrets because it takes longer at that point, and the instant level is faster than the experience way. So I'm going to say the French Fry Ferret has a good ability. It's good. It's useful. It's solid. These next two pets, this little chicken, this pig, useless. We don't need to talk about those. The Gorilla Chef. Currently, the Gorilla Chef has a mid ability. However, if cooking ever becomes much more of a focal point in the game, the ability becomes more useful. As of right now, it's just not that useful. Hot diggity dog. I call it useless. Some people still value its abilities of reducing cooldowns or increasing XP. I just think there's better pets for both of those things than this thing. Lobster, great pet. It's basically a Disco Bee. It applies Meteoric and Molten. Great pet, great ability, great for mutations. The green bean is mostly useless. It instantly grows things, but there's better pets to instantly grow things than the green bean pet. The lemon line has a really good mutation, so it's up here with a really good ability. The only thing holding down its value is its supply, but it's got a great ability in the game. The Apple Gazelle is focused on the sugar apple, and ever since they nerfed the usability and ability of the sugar apple, it used to be worth more back in the day, it's loss of value. So I'm going to call this a useless ability. This wasp applies plasma, which is an admin mutation, so I'll give it a mid ability. It's useful. The cow is the definition of useless. Oh man, this list is getting so big we can't even see the whole thing anymore. Okay, I'm gonna do some scrolling. The cow is useless, guys. The jackalope is not useful either. This is so bad. The seedling, some people swear by the seedling and think that it's gonna be useful and helpful to them, but it only swaps mutations. It doesn't spread them or add them or increase the amount of mutations in your garden in any way. It just swaps 2 of them. So unless I don't know. I don't see a use for it. I do not see a use case for this thing. The golem goes and speeds up the mutation machine, but it takes so long to cross the garden to get to the mutation machine that it's pretty much useless. I don't see anybody talking about this pet anymore. The golden goose also is useless. This thing gives you eggs on the ground that aren't even worth that much. Like, this is a divine pet, and it's so bad. The deer is basically the spotted deer, and I put the spotted deer in the mid tier so the deer can go in the mid tier as well. The mandrake applies a new mutation, rot or something like that, so it has some minor use. The griffin is minorly useful again because it does apply mutations, so that's kind of cool. These next 2 pets are both useless. The bunny, the dog, we don't need to worry about those pets. Same with the regular bee, we don't need to worry about that pet. Or the black bunny, or the regular cat, or the little chicken, or this other deer, or the monkey, or the pig. Orange tabbies are mildly useful, very useful when Titanic, mildly useful when they're normal. Nico cat is Nico useless. Junk bot applies to mutations we get from admin events. I'll put it in the mid tier in terms of use. The Spriggan spreads the bloom mutation, so that gives some functionality. This is not a real pet. It doesn't exist in the game. This is not a real pet. It doesn't exist in the game. Ladybug is useless. The Pixie is trying to do what the Echo Frog and the Triceratops do better, so I'll put it in the useless category. This guy, you can run around and catch him and get some half-decent things, so I'll call him mid. This Pixie applies the now mutation is no longer available, luminescence or glimmering. It applies the glimmering mutation. We do have glimmering sprays. Actually, we have lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of glimmering sprays floating around. The Cockatrice is so bad. It's mid. Some people can make use of his abilities. It's fine. Cardinal is not useful. The Shroomy, finally, we can talk about a good ability. I watched videos of people with Shroomies maxing out their abilities by putting down mushrooms. Shove the mushrooms in a corner, maxing out their abilities and using them to grow bone blossoms and using them to grow resins and such. Shroomies are good. Shroomies are good. They're useful. They have a function. The Phoenix pet is fine. It's mid. It has an ability. The Drake currently is mid. If cooking becomes important, it'll be better. Robin making things tiny is fun but useless. Same with the Grizzly Bear. Making things massive is fun but useless. The Badger's ability is also not that useful. However, the Barn Owl is among the most bestest abilities in the game. Much like the Brontosaurus makes eggs hatch heavier and have heavier pets with more useful effects, the Barn Owl makes shop pets heavier, which means their effects are better. Barn Owls are clutch, the most useful pet we have received in a long time. Like the next most recent pet we have received was like the Koi. That was really useful and important. And the Bald Eagle was useful and important. But since then, it's been a long time. The Barn Owl is clutch and useful and good. The Swan is just okay. The Harvest Tool, so getting back Harvest Tools like a squirrel does for the Reclaimer is situationally useful. I don't see it very useful right now. I'll put it at the bottom of mid. And that is actually every pet in this list. And this is my list of things in the game, pets in the game that are somewhat useful, but ultimately so many of them are not useful. I mean, the mid ability tier and the useless tier takes up so many pets. The top 3 tiers, there's only 28 or so pets in those top tiers. That's crazy. What did you guys think of this list? What did you think of my amazing list? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Comment down below and let me know. Where would you put some of these pets? Am I overrating some of them? Am I underrating some of them? Give me your thoughts, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and hit subscribe. Become part of the first 300K OGs on the channel. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching.